This is Peapod in the morning.
Toledo's Rock Alternative. It's 100.7 The Zone. Peapod in the morning. Disturb the sound of silence there. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. You could be listening to anything else, and you chose us, so we greatly appreciate it. Interact with us on social media. As always, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are over at Toledo'sZone.com. And phone lines are open when I'm around, 877-909-1007. And if you missed it at the top of the hour, this hour's national keyword for the $1,000 workday payday is pay, P-A-Y. Text that now to 95819. That's pay to 95819. Do not text and drive, and standard text message rates apply. A great local director, actress, and writer is in studio with me. She has done a lot of projects behind this one, A Story Worth Living. I have Vanessa Leonard in studio. Vanessa, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming by. And we were talking a little bit about the film and everything and kind of your history about things. And we'll talk more about the film next break. But for you, tell me a little bit about you. Who is Vanessa? Who is this woman that is with me right now with this loud, bald man?
Yeah. So, I mean, I work at ProMedica. Okay. So that is my full-time job. My day job is what I guess creatives say.
The 9 to 5, yes. That's what it needs to be, yes.
But I am so grateful because they are so supportive of my film, which is just phenomenal. But yeah, so my love for film really started when I was 12 years old. I went on vacation with my family to LA, actually, of all places. Wow. And I just remember being so captivated by the culture and just loving film. And so I told my parents, I'm like, I want to grow up. When I grow up, I want to be a female director. I want to be a woman director.
Right.
And at that time, I want to say, so that was like in June. Later that year, that Christmas, my parents got me a camera. And it was just, it wasn't like it wasn't a DSLR or anything
right,
like
yes,
that.
That's something fancy.
So I'm pretty sure it was like a plastic one from like Toys R Us or something.
Like a point and shoot, basically.
Right, exactly. But like the point is, like, it came with the whole software. So then I started storytelling. I started the fiction writing. I had a younger brother, and thankfully I was able to twist his arm and force him to dress up. We did a couple, like, and even just fan fiction stuff. We did Sherlock Holmes, I think Star Wars as well. So honestly, that's when my love for film just really started to take off. And then once I got a little older, I loved capturing pictures and different things in high school. But unfortunately, I just, as any teenager, it gets older and passions are set aside. So here, fast forward to my adulthood, I went full-time college. I went 2 years at Owens and then 2 years at BG. Major was communications. But while there, I took a lot of theater and film classes because originally my major, I wanted to be telecommunications. My passion was to go into journalism. So it was hilarious. Looking back, I'm like, I think I took zombie film classes and oh my goodness. So
you learned all these different types, not only just storytelling, but like the shooting, the editing, things like that. What films did you really resonated with you? Like because of like maybe the story or maybe how it was shot or the editing or what are some of the films that really like spoke to you?
Honestly, I can't think of like a specific movie off the bat, but I can tell you my favorite genre, and that's suspense.
That's fine. Okay, what about suspense? What is it about suspense that you really enjoy?
It's anything from the score to, I think, camera angles nowadays. Like, it's so funny because now that I've really gotten into, I actually shoot videos for work as well. Okay. So I've really gotten into cinematography, and I'm just like, oh, that's a really good angle. Oh, I see what they did there. Like, I can't watch TV shows or movies like a normal person
That's
anymore.
The same. That's a little bit about me and about music, because there's certain things that I can't, or even like podcasting. I can't listen to a lot of podcasts myself because all I do for a living is talk. Right. So I'm more concentrating on how people are talking, not necessarily the content they are talking about. Do you ever feel like you want to do like more suspenseful shots at ProMedica and they're like, all right, Vanessa, can we like chill it out?
Let's tone it down a little bit.
It's not that serious.
And another thing I love about suspense too is score. I mean, honestly, you can watch a horror or suspense movie on mute and then it's not the same effect. I mean, obviously you'll have the lighting and a couple things, but oh my goodness, like the score makes or breaks a movie as well. I appreciate art when I see it. So
okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about the film that was just recently viewed at the on the West Coast. It is a story worth living. It's a great subject. It's a subject that we need to talk about more, and we'll do that in just a little bit. It's Peapod in the Morning on 100.7 The Zone.
Toledo's rock alternative, 100.7 The Zone.
I Prevail in Hurricane, Toledo's rock alternative, 100.7 The Zone. Vanessa Leonard, a local director, actress, writer of a phenomenal film that was just recently viewed in the West Coast for a film festival, A Story Worth Living. First off, before we get into the actual film itself, tell me a little bit about showing off this film, showing off the fruits of not only your labor, but everybody else involved in the film on the West Coast, in your more or less dream of Hollywood.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started applying for film festivals actually May of last year. And it's like any process. And I've, this entire experience, because this is my first movie that I actually wrote and directed, it's the entire thing is a learning experience. So with that being said, I've come to learn to lower my expectations, and feature films are a nightmare for programming.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, especially my film, because it's just over an hour and a half, so it's 97 minutes. And so imagine trying to also do a 25 minute Q&A. It's a nightmare for programmers. So to be honest, I've been declined by more than I would like. But with learning that though, I've learned to lower my expectations, and out of nowhere, I think it was a Monday morning, I got a call from Malibu. And so I looked at my phone. I'm like, that's odd. But, I get spammers all the time. Washington, D.C. and Washington and Portland, whatever.
So you just take it to voicemail.
Yeah, so I ignored it and flipped to my phone. About an hour later, I looked at it. I'm like, oh, they left a voicemail. And I'm like, I'm a little intrigued. I mean, again, it still might be a pre-recording thing.
Right.
But so I pulled out my phone, and thankfully the iPhone lets you don't even have to listen to the message.
Yeah,
you can
see
just
the
read
video.
it.
Yep.
As soon as I saw the name, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a festival director, and he's not going to be calling me about a declination.
No.
So sure enough, it was a little bit of phone tag that day, but once we connected, he's like, I will love to show your movie at my film festival.
That's beautiful.
So, yes.
Tell me about A Story Worth Living for. You're Story Worth Living. I keep screwing up the title, and I shouldn't. That's
no
bad.
Problem.
A Story Worth Living. Tell me about this film.
Yeah, so to be honest, it's a chick flick. I don't like chick flicks, but
nothing wrong with a little chick flick here and there.
But honestly, I wanted to create something that was raw and authentic that many viewers could relate to. It's essentially about the topic of mental illness. I wanted to do a drama for many reasons. One, because cinematography, you can make that really pretty. But also, just the story itself is very important to me. 1 in 5 adults, although I have recently read that it might be 2 in 5 adults.
Oh, wow.
Live with mental illness. I mean, this is an unseen illness. And so a lot of times in Hollywood movies, it's very dramatically done. It's portrayed. And don't get me wrong, schizophrenia and obsessive compulsive disorder and psychopath, I don't know what the adjective is that.
They overhype it.
Exactly.
They
and those
fantasize
are very
it.
important issues and illnesses. However, because the statistic is so high with 2 in 5, I mean, people have extreme anxiety, people have depression and bipolar and borderline personality disorder, and the list goes on. And I just really wanted to make something very relatable to viewers.
It's really interesting because I saw the trailer you had on your Facebook page, facebook.com, A Story Worth Living movie, and we'll tag it at the end of this. Even the series, it stars you, and it says, I'm on medication. I was taken off of it, and I saw later in the trailer bouts of you, vomiting and things like that, because those hormones, those pills that even you out, but they also screw up your body, your appetite, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the movie is definitely it starts off with the antagonist right away, but it's going to take you down. I mean, up and down the entire time with the emotions, and that's exactly what I wanted.
But it's a chick flick film in that, it's about a woman and meets a boy, and there's love, things like that.
It's about a college student who has been on medication for over a decade, and her doctor suggests that she slowly weans off of it due to financial and healthcare issues, health insurance issues. So with that being said, she's slowly being weaned off of it while falling in love with this one guy. So she's trying to find and rediscover who she is without medication, while also growing in this new romance.
And which is a huge thing because it balances, the hormones and chemicals when you're in love, when you're getting on medicine, getting off of medicine. It's this perfect storm of almost chaos when it comes to living with some sort of mental disease. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like, and before we go on break, do you feel like certain people like to use the mental health card as an excuse to being, disingenuous, or they use that as just almost a crutch? Where do you feel like the line is from actual someone dealing with a mental issue or, someone who's just trying to seek attention?
That is
I know
really
that's a difficult question. So do your best you can.
Yeah, that's so difficult because even just personally on recent experiences, I can definitely see how people can utilize, I have this and, you just kind of have to live with it. You kind of have to accept me who I am.
Right.
However, I like to own up to my mistakes and I like to face each day with like that mentality of bettering myself. So I'm one of those people of, yes, I made a mistake, but I want to grow and learn from this. So, oh, man, that's tough. But
it's tough. Yeah. No, that's a good answer. And I mean, there's really not a right or wrong answer on it. But
it comes down to personal responsibility, honestly. If they want to seek help, that's up to them. But hopefully they do.
We'll talk more about all the things that are going around A Story Worth Living with Vanessa. It's 100.7 The Zone and Peapod in the morning.
Toledo's Rock Alternative, 100.7 The Zone.
Breaking Benjamin, Far Away, 100.7 The Zone, Peapod in the morning. Wrapping things up this hour. Vanessa Leonard, A Story Worth Living. Director, writer, actress, destroyer of worlds. I don't know what else. How many more monikers do you need? A lot of them. But Vanessa Leonard, she's been a sweetheart here this morning with us. So what's coming up with this movie?
So I hope to premiere it locally this fall.
Yes.
So hopefully you guys are interested and will come check it out. As far as film festivals, I have to do that first.
Yes.
I'm doing the film festival circuit. So if you want to follow us, follow the journey on social media. We are on social media, and I say all of that because we did get accepted into another film festival.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you. But I haven't revealed that yet.
Okay. So
but we're very excited about that one as well. But yeah, so if you follow us on social media, can I do the plug-in now?
Yeah. Okay. You can do whatever you want, please.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook and Instagram are the same handles. It's A Story Worth Living Movie. And then we are also on Twitter, which is Worth Living Film. So,
right. Excellent. Yeah. And then you were also working something locally with the Zepp Center.
Yes. So I'm very grateful for them. I reached out around, late fall last year and asked if they would form a partnership. Essentially. And so I'm selling merch for the movie. So we have anxiety reducing bracelets, and what those are, have you heard of something?
No.
Yeah, they're like lava beaded bracelets. They're very popular. What you do is you rub a little bit of I'm like acting it out.
She's
in
trying
the
to act it out
right
on radio. Yes.
Like you can't see it.
Right.
But yeah, so you put a little bit of lavender oil.
Okay, so essential oils.
In your palm, and you just rub the beads on it, and it'll last honestly for days. And that actually helps to reduce anxiety.
Okay.
So we're selling that. We're selling necklaces and T-shirts that say "My story is worth living." So we personalized it a little bit.
I like that.
But yeah, so a portion of the proceeds will actually be given to the Zepp Center, which helps mental illness.
It's beautiful. And is there anybody you want to shout out to, all the men and women that helped you produce this film?
Oh my goodness. So this is mostly a local film, mostly shot in Toledo. We did shoot a couple scenes in Columbus and a little bit in West Virginia as well, but mostly local actors. I mean, Zach Kohlhoff from Zach Films.
I met him.
He shot it, cinematography, and he was phenomenal. Chris Johnson, he did audio engineer. Kayla Elizabeth, she was the assistant director. Melissa Suzaz, she was lead supporting actress. Joe Morales, he's an upcoming Cleveland actor. So he traveled a bit. I mean, I could go on. Sarah Burtz Thomas, she's from Temperance. Alan Mayette. Mark Klein, oh my goodness, he's another up-and-coming actor too, locally, and he's been doing a lot of work in Pittsburgh and Cleveland as well.
Nice. I also want to give a quick shout-out to my buddy Ryan Moore of New Realms Media, who kind of connected us together for all of this, so shout-out to him. He's a great writer, blogger, videographer, photographer, things like that.
Yes, and we actually have a professional score and soundtrack as well.
Oh,
my
beautiful.
husband, who is in the rock band Southbound Fearing.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yep, his song's in the trailer, actually, and he helped me put together, he contacted a whole bunch of music contacts, and he put together all of that, and so he helped him with the soundtrack. And then also Brian Dussault, he did the score as well.
Excellent.
So yeah, it was a very collaborative project.
I'm looking very forward to all the success of this film. I
much.
definitely want to see this when it comes out on a local level in some sort of way, things like that. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so if for those who are interested in meeting me, wanting to learn more about the project, perhaps even purchase merch, even though I do have an online store, but I will actually be at the vendor trade show event, art sale, at, oh my goodness, I want to get this right, St. Mary's Catholic Central High School in Monroe, Michigan.
Yes.
Saturday, March 21st from 9 to 5.
All right.
So I will be there promoting my film.
Excellent. Anything else?
Yeah. So again, I hope to premiere it locally come November. I will also be looking for sponsorships. So if any local business would be interested in that, they could reach out to me via social media as well.
Thank you, Vanessa. You're such a nice gal,
much.
and talking with you, and I hope for the best for not only this project but all the projects to come for you.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
I'm so glad. It's a story worth living. Go check it out very soon. It's Peapod in the Morning. It's 100.7 The Zone.
Toledo's rock alternative. 100.7 The Zone.